What's going on, everybody? I'm Tank, and this is another episode of Roadie Reactions. In today's reaction video, I'm going to be returning to a band that I actually just recently discovered on this channel, and that band is Caskets. And I loved their sound so much just after hearing one song that I pre-ordered their upcoming album that they had coming out. And it actually got here a couple days ahead of the release, and I've got the vinyl up on the wall already. Now, that album released on August 13th, and it's called Lost Souls. It's actually their debut studio album, and also the first release on SharpTone Records. Now, I've already listened to the entire album from start to finish, with the exception of this song that we're about to check out, because this video came out before the album, and I knew that I was going to do this reaction, and I didn't want to ruin it for myself. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm not doing an album review. We are doing a reaction to a song, but in my opinion, the album is fantastic, man. I absolutely loved it. And if there's anybody that's discovering this band for the first time today and you like what you hear, I'll have a link in the description where you can stream the album or go purchase the album directly from the band or their label if you would like to support them. But let's get into this one, man. As always, I will link this original video in the description below. Today, I'm once again listening to Caskets, and for the very first time, hearing their brand new single, Drowned in Emotion. Let's go. Okay, I want to lead back into that in the chorus. That was really cool, man. I loved that, like, all the music dropped out of that and they introduced the chorus with just vocals, pretty much. I think there was a hi-hat count in there and some programming, like keyboard stuff in the background, and that was it. So the first thing I noticed, coming from me being a gearhead, it looks like all the guys in the band are rocking some fresh new gear. Now, I've only seen one other music video by these guys, so they might have had this gear in other videos, but I haven't seen it. Very noticeable stuff for me in this one, man. And I wonder if with the album coming out and them signing to SharpTones, these guys have picked up some endorsements along the way. I'll have to look into that. I'm not sure, but we'll talk some gear as we go on, but this is really cool. Again, another performance video with a little bit of a story, and I love these because I get to see them play and their energy and emotion and stuff like that. I love this with videos. Let's lead back into this again, man. That was really cool. Man, these guys are good songwriters, man. And a lot of that may have to do with working with such a good producer as well. Dan Weller produced this album. No, not the guy from Florida Georgia Line. The other Dan Weller, English Dan Weller. Some of you may be more familiar with him with his work with Sixth. He was in that band. But he's also become a pretty big producer in this community in England. I know he's worked on a ton of other stuff, and this sounds fantastic, man. It sounds really good. And I was smiling back there because their drummer had a really sick fill going back into that. And that's something I mentioned in the last video. He had some really well-placed fills and really cool stuff. So let's talk about his gear real quick. I believe his name is James. Sorry, if the band ever sees this, I'm still learning your names. I just recently discovered you. Their drummer is rocking a Tama kit, and he's also using Meinl cymbals. Now, Tama is a Japanese company, and Meinl is a German company, but there is an interesting connection with this, and I'll get into that. So Tama Drums is owned by the Hoshinogaki Corporation, which also owns Ibanez. They originally started a drum line called Star Drums, and it eventually became Tama. That's what, sorry, I just smacked my mic. It eventually became Tama, and that's why Tama has lines of drums called the Star Classics and stuff like that. So going on to Meinl, Meinl is a German cymbal company, and they're one of the biggest cymbal companies in the entire world. Now, Meinl also has Meinl Distribution, where they distribute other brands in European countries. And they distribute instruments for Hoshinogaki. So they distribute Tama drums and Ibanez in European countries as well. So seeing a Tama kit with Meinl cymbals, to me, makes sense. Let's keep hearing more, and then we'll break into the other instruments in a little bit. Ooh. We're going to lead back into that entire bridge. I know a lot of people peg me as this brutal metalhead, but I love music like this, man. This brings me back. I was really into bands like this in like the mid to late 2000s and even the early 2000s. But while this is somewhat nostalgic to me, the overall sound, the genre itself, it's very modern, man. This is really, really good for nowadays. It's really good in general, not just for nowadays. So the guitar players and the bass player are rocking different stuff from the last video. And right away, everything pops out because it's stuff that I'm super, super familiar with. Their bass player, Chris. I think it's Chris. If it's not, I'm sorry. He's rocking an Ernie Ball Music Man Stingray. Now, we've talked about that a lot. And I think like the last 5 or 6 videos I've done, all the bass players have been using Stingrays. And it's one of the most popular basses in the world. It was originally released by Music Man in 1976, I believe. And it's relatively been unchanged in terms of its design and body style. So that look and image of it is still very, very recognizable today. Now, the one that he's playing looks like one of the standard ones because I only see one humbucker pickup in it, and some of the newer ones have 2. But I also love that the color of the bass is matching his shoes pretty well, too. That's pretty awesome. And then the guitar players are both now rocking LTD guitars from ESP. And LTD is just like the midline of ESP. But don't let that kind of stuff fool you, because most guitar companies have lower to middle lines that they consider their more affordable items for people. But a lot of people I've toured with actually prefer some of the midline guitars more on tour and recording than the higher end stuff, especially with the wear and tear on tour. You don't have to worry about destroying a really expensive instrument. So one of their guitar players is playing an LTD TE series, which is basically the same body design as a Fender Telecaster. And if I remember right, in the last video, he was playing a Fender Telecaster. Now that TE looks like it's from the 200 line, just based on the pickups that it has in there, which are ESP's in-house pickups. And then the other guitar player is playing an LTD Eclipse. I don't know why I just brain farted on that. I have one up here as well. The Eclipse is basically their version of a Les Paul, which again, coincidentally, I believe he was using an Epiphone Les Paul in the last video I saw. That looks like an Eclipse 1000, which is kind of actually the highest end of the LTD Eclipse series. It's got EMG pickups in it. I believe it's an EMG 81 in the neck and a 60 in the bridge. That might be flip-flopped. I will double check. But it's all of their high-end hardware and everything on that too. And those guitars sound great, man. I absolutely love them. And as always, I think Matt has a fantastic voice, man. I mean, it's just, this band is kind of really impressing me, especially after listening to the album. So let's finish this off, man. There's not much gear stuff to talk about. We might just rock the rest of this video. Oh, I love that.
But now it's fading away, and no one even knows my name. So if there's a way, please tell me. Falling through the cracks, I'm frozen underneath the lights. Forever it ever builds till I'm drowned in emotion. But now it's fading away, and no one even knows my name. But now it's fading away, and no one even knows my name.
Oh, man.
So if you're fading away, and no one even knows your name, and no one even knows your name.
There's a really cool placed outro with that musical part. I thought it was going to end right at that heavier part. That heavy part's sick, man. I love the harmonics and the bends and stuff in there. This band is something, man. I'm already excited to hear more from them, and they just put out an album. The other impressive thing I didn't mention, this band has been around for like 3 years. That's insane to me. Now, they might have been in other bands and stuff before this, but 3 years officially as a band. They've already put out a studio album with a label. Impressive, man. Let's go talk more about it. The one thing I'm really liking about this band is that it's just an overall awesome vibe, man. It's just a really good rock sound, but they also have some influences from some other genres in here. You can hear a little bit of some pop punk stuff going on, a little bit of post-hardcore going on, and they throw in some edgier stuff in their bridges and outros and stuff as well that I think is just really, really cool, man. And like I said at the end of the video, like, I just got their album and I already want more. I want new music from these guys already. But they do have an older EP that I haven't checked out yet, so I'll probably go back and listen to some older stuff as well. But man, this was really cool. I mean, I don't know when the next time I'm going to check them out is, because we've been doing new material on this channel, and maybe if they have a new music video, I'll sneak that in, even though I probably already heard the song. But this was fun, man. And again, as a reminder, if you are into this band, or any band on this channel for that matter, I will always have links in the descriptions of these videos where you can follow them on social media, stream their music, purchase their music if you want to support, and all that stuff. So thank you guys for watching, and if this is your first time here, feel free to click subscribe. I release new videos all the time. Subscribing is free, and it helps my channel out a ton. If you liked this video, I would greatly appreciate the like, as that also helps the channel. But if you disliked it, not a big deal, man. Thank you very much for your time. You are free to click dislike if you didn't like it. I'm also on a ton of different social media. I even have a Discord server I hang on. I have a Twitch that I stream on. And if you guys are interested in any of that stuff, I will also put links to that in the description as well. My handle on everything social media related is @TankTheTech. Thank you so very much once again for watching. I will be back very soon with another episode of Roadie Reactions.